Okay, so welcome to our going to have our mindful moments. It's going to be moments and it's going to be strategies for like movements. And so like what you can use for, like you said, as you go into the end of the semester, things that if you just like sitting at your desk or like standing up, there's going to be so many different strategies for movements to really like help you as you kind of end out the semester, going into the next semester, going into the summer, whatever that looks like for you, but really just trying to relieve that stress. April is Stress Less Month, and it's really to like focus on relieving stress, whatever that looks like for each individual person. And so I'm very excited to have everybody here. So I'm going to introduce you to our three presenters, and they're going to tell you a little bit more about themselves and like how they are going to help in this movement strategies program. So I'm going to start with Jenny.
Hi there. Thank you so much. It's great to see everybody on the call. My name is Jenny DeDecker. I'm a PhD student in mind-body medicine, a specialization in mindful leadership. And I'm really happy to be here with you to take you through some poses. Most of my series will be based from yogic philosophy. We'll do a little bit seated and a little bit standing. The goal of the poses are things that you don't have to create a huge space for. So something you can do right around your desk. Even if you need just a 2-minute to get up and stretch your bones a little bit. So that's what you'll find in my series. So again, thank you all for being here.
And then we're going to move on to Lenee.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lenee Cook Braxton. Like Jenny, I'm also a PhD student at Saybrook in the Mind-Body Medicine Department program and officially in dissertation phase. Today, my movement practice comes from a dance background. I'm a mover naturally. And at the end of the semester, I find that I carry a lot of tension in my neck, shoulders, and hips in particular. And in an effort to actually pay homage and honor the celebration of ending a semester, we will simply move today. What feels good, what flows, all of the lubrication of the joints, and simply moving, coming as we are today. I've studied modern dance and was a modern dancer many years ago. And so I'll bring some of that and infuse that into our practice today. Thank you, Brianna.
Thank you, Lenee. And then we're going to, not last but least, because he's going to start us off with Cliff.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I'm Cliff Smyth. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Mind-Body Medicine, and I teach the movement modalities for well-being class. And I teach a method called Feldenkrais method of somatic education. I've been doing that for many years. So I will start today with a Feldenkrais practice just to enhance comfort in sitting. And it's the kind of thing you can do in a quick 5-minute break while you're sitting at the computer. So that's what we'll be doing. So I just wanted to say a few introductory words. First, it's great to be here teaching with Jenny DeDecker and Lenee Cook Braxton, my colleagues in movement. And thanks especially to Student Affairs for organizing this, and Brianna Yahaya, especially for all the work that she's done organizing this for our students and faculty and staff. So, movement practices offer so much for dealing with stress. One of the physiological symptoms of stress in general is the tightening of the muscles. And then there's all the physical stressors of studying or working, as we do these days, long hours at the computer. So eye strain, as Lenee mentioned, tension in the neck and shoulders, tension in the arms and hands, and all the effects of sitting for a long time. So movement practices can help by moving and lengthening the muscles, by finding a more supportive bodily organization, by utilizing the energy that's mobilized by stress and getting the blood moving and finding ways through the body, through movement, to shift your mood, maybe finding some calm or some joy. So I hope you'll experience some of those things today. But let's just begin by arriving and just do a short presencing. So just to begin, let's arrive and find a way to sit comfortably. See if you can find a feeling of support for your body from the chair, from the seat and the back and the arms of the chair, however you're using them. And make any little movements you need to feel that little bit more comfortable. Bring your feet to the floor if that's comfortable. And allow your body to settle a little bit, to become a little heavier, resting on the skeleton. Sinking into the sense of the body sitting there. Maybe for a moment, let your eyes close, or the focus soften for a few moments. Sensing into your body for anything that feels comfortable, supported, warm. Still making any little movements you need to make to be more comfortable. That's part of the body's wisdom. And then just begin to notice that you're breathing without changing it particularly. Feeling the air coming and going. And the movements of breathing in the chest, in the abdomen. And then I invite you now to take 3 deepening breaths. So taking slightly bigger breaths without any strain. Slightly larger breaths. 3 breaths. Breathing in slowly and breathing out even more slowly. Softening the chest and the belly as you breathe out. Breathing in softly in all directions. Into the chest, into the abdomen, the front and the back and the sides. Comfortably a little bigger and letting the breath out slowly. And even something like that can be a good micro break. Good, so coming back now to being aware of the screen, being aware of sitting in the room that you're in, let your eyes open or refocus. And we're going to begin with a short Feldenkrais method awareness through movement lesson. And the aim of the lesson is really about awareness, about feeling how to do things more comfortably, in this case, sitting. And I invite you, because it's not really about strengthening and stretching. It's really about using less effort, going slowly so you can sense yourself and sense what's more comfortable. So I invite you to not go as far as you can at first, and certainly not do anything that causes or increases any pain or discomfort. So that's the basics, and I'm just going to show you briefly what it's going to look like, so then I'll come back and talk you through the process. So I invite you to sit back from your desk and sit on your chair, with the knees bent, the feet on the floor, and have a nice distance between your knees, not too close, not too wide, just a nice distance where your feet and legs can support you as well. And then what we'll be doing in the lesson is we'll have our hands on our thighs, and I'll invite you just to move one hand or both hands a little forward down the thighs and then maybe a little bit past the knees. Having a soft hand. There we go. And the aim isn't to bring your hand to the floor. Don't bring your hand to the floor. The aim is just to sense how you do this, especially noticing what happens with the hip, both hips. So that's the basic setup. And every time you come back, bring the hand back and come and sit and look forward and look toward the horizon. That's great. Good. So come and sit back from your desk a little bit. Sit with your feet on the floor. There we go. And rest your hands on your thighs. And just for a moment, maybe think up along the length of the spine. If you've got work showing up on your computer, you might just get that out of the way for a moment so that you not being distracted by work. If you've got a pen in your hand, put it down. That's good. And come and sit with your feet on the floor, the knees and feet a comfortable distance apart, your hands on your thighs, and kind of soften your hands a little bit. Slide your hands on your thighs a little bit. There we go. Good. And then starting with the right hand, just begin to slide your right hand a little bit forward toward the knee and maybe down a little bit past the knee on the outside of the right leg. Just a little bit, and then slide it back. And you might notice what happens with your shoulder, all right? That the shoulder blade slides away from the spine a little bit and then retracts a little bit toward the spine. Make sure you're breathing. Good, feeling the hand on the leg, softening the hand, not digging into massage, but just this stimulation, this feeling between the hand, a nice feeling between the hand and the leg. That's it. And now as you go forward, feel that you might bend a little bit to the right, but you might also start to feel that there's a bending in the hip joints. What happens in the right hip joint and the left hip joint, and then you come back and sit tall and look forward. So sliding the right hand down and looking at the right hand with your eyes, and then looking back up to the horizon and looking ahead toward the screen to me. So sliding the right hand down, and then you might find that you go a little further. And again, you could do it all with bending sideways, but I invite you also to bend a little forward so that the hip joints close a little bit in the front. And you might find is that the right armpit goes a little toward your thigh. So just continuing with that idea, sliding the right hand slowly, lightly, easily down the leg, not being ambitious about how far you go, but feeling now how the shoulder blade can go away from the spine and back, and how the leaning forward of the body and the movement in the hips can help you move and support your hand. And sometimes you have to let the left arm hang down so it's not in the way, and just sliding the right hand down the leg. And it might go a little further all by itself, going slowly and with awareness, and of course breathing. And pause a moment, rest your hands on your thighs. That's good. And then with the right hand again, putting it on your right thigh, sliding it down. And now I invite you, as you go down, to imagine the spine lengthened a little bit from the base of the spine to the top of your head. And then kind of paradoxically, imagining that the spine lengthened as you come back up and you get tall. You're not arching back, but just getting tall. So the spine lengthens a little bit as you go down and lengthens a little bit as you come back up. That's great, good. And resting a moment. Good. And then bring your right hand to your thigh again, and this time slide the right hand down the inside of the knee and the lower leg, and looking at the hand. And now different things are being asked of your spine, of your ribs, of your breathing. And every time, imagine that you could come up and sit tall, not by arching back, but just getting tall at the top of your head. And really inviting this simple movement of leaning the torso forward with the spine long to help you move your hand. And every time, see, can you make it lighter and easier by having this sense of length in the spine as you go down and as you go back up. Making it really pleasant. Don't do anything that hurts. Don't do anything that causes pain. Only going as far as you'd like to. Good. Pause a moment. And just for a moment, feel the sensations in your right hand and arm and shoulder, your right leg. That's good. And now bring your left hand to your left thigh, and the right arm might hang down, and start to slide the left hand down the outside of the left thigh, past the knee to the extent that's comfortable, and come back up, sitting tall as you come back up each time. The hand is soft, you're breathing, and looking at the hand now. That's good. And feeling that you can bend, maybe a little sideways, but also that you bend in the left hip joint and the right hip joint as you slide the hand down. And then come back and sitting tall each time, like you were a fern frond unfolding. There we go. Good. And come and pause a moment. There we go. Good. And now bring the left hand and slide it down the inside of the left leg, past the knee, toward the floor without having to get there. Some of you might find that you bump into the floor. Some of you, the movement's just a little bit past the knee. The main thing is feeling this coordination. How can the movement in the hip joints, the spine long, the breathing soft and comfortable, help you come and sit tall? And pause a moment now and feel how you're sitting. Could this sense of length, sense of support, the bend in the hip joints, could that help you in your sitting every day? Good. So go ahead now and take your right hand and bring it to the inside of your left leg, your left thigh, and start to slide the soft right hand down the inside. And again now there's bending in the hip joints, and it might be a little different. And there's some turning and twisting. Make it very comfortable and come and sit tall and look forward at the horizon every time you come up. And every time imagining the spine could lengthen as you go down and lengthen as you come back up. That's good. Now if you cared to, you could put the right hand on the outside of the left knee and slide down a little bit that way a couple of times, looking at the hand and just going as far as is very comfortable. Great. Pause a moment. Good. Bring the left hand to the inside of the right thigh. Slide the left hand down, looking at the hand, and sliding back up and come and sitting tall. Every time, imagine sitting tall, breathing. There we go. That's good. And then bring your left hand just a couple of times to the outside of the right leg. Slide the hand down, come back, sit tall. Imagine the spine lengthening and coming back. Good. Pausing a moment. And then one last movement. Bring the right hand to the right thigh, the left hand to the left thigh. Slide both hands forward and down and look down between your feet, bending at the hips, imagining the spine long as you go down and the spine long and getting tall as you come back up. Really letting the movement of the hips and the length of the spine help you support your arms. Every time the shoulder blades just naturally slide back toward the spine so the shoulders can sit nicely over the ribs. Good. Good. Leave that. Pause a moment. Notice how you feel in both shoulders. Feel your feet on the floor and your seat in the chair. Imagining the length of your spine. And that's this Feldenkrais method sitting practice for now. And I hand over to my colleague, Jenny DeDecker. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Cliff. We're going to continue lengthening and bringing health into the spine, picking up where Cliff brought us. Sitting up nice and tall, continue feeling those sits bones in the chair, feeling your feet on the earth. And as we inhale and we lengthen through that spine, again, as Cliff said, not arching, but simply lifting, lengthening out through the center of the head. We're going to let our arms follow. So let those arms rise up overhead. As we reach the fingers to the sky, we want to keep the shoulder blades down the spine. So keep a lot of space between the shoulders and the ears. Be able to have movement of the head and neck in between those arms. Continue reaching and feel the fingertips up overhead. Feel the sits bones down into the earth. And with our exhale, let the hands float down by our side. Nice and easy. Again, inhale, let the arms rise. Coming back into those long arms, shoulder blades down the spine, fingers reaching up overhead. Find your breath. And with this exhale, we're going to bring the right hand to the left knee and the left hand to come either to our left hip or to reach around behind us. As that right hand is landing down on the left knee, we can still lengthen through the spine. Maybe slowly start to twist towards the left shoulder. If it feels good for you, you're welcome to look over the left shoulder to continue that spinal twist all the way up into the cervical spine. Very gentle pressure of that right hand into the outside of the left knee just to support and anchor. And with our exhale, we'll unwind, coming back to center. Next inhale, we'll let the arms again rise up. So take that long, deep breath. Reaching the hands up overhead, and with this exhale, the left hand will come down to the outside of the right leg, and that right hand again maybe comes to hip, maybe reaches behind us, long through the spine with this gentle twist. Again, maybe looking over the right shoulder if that feels good for you. Don't go past any point of comfort. We're just bringing a little bit of rotation into the spine. That left hand can make gentle contact with the outside of the right knee. And with our next exhale, we'll slowly return all the way to center. Bringing a couple big shoulder rolls into our practice. Lift those shoulders to the ears, around back, and then come forward again. One more time, big shoulder rolls around and back. We're gonna move through a bit of a seated hip stretch, and then we will also do it standing so that we've got options depending on how much availability we have. So with both of our feet on the ground, we're gonna bring our left ankle to the top of our right knee. So left ankle comes to the top of the right knee. We've got our left hand resting on left knee, right hand resting on right ankle, or excuse me, right knee. Sitting up nice and tall. We don't need to press the hand into the knee. We're just resting here. And with our exhale, go ahead and return that left foot to the earth. And then we'll bring the right foot up to place it on top of the left knee. Right hand lands on that right knee. Left hand is down by the left knee. Again, we don't need to press or push. We're just breathing here. And with our exhale, slowly release and unwind. And we're going to come to standing. You're welcome to stand in front of your chair. I would like to offer to just come around to the back of a chair so you've got a place to put your hands, or you're welcome to use the side of a couch or whatever it is that you have in your space. We're going to start with our feet hip width apart and be far enough away from your chair that your hands can rest, but you're not right up leaning into the chair. So about arm's length away from the chair. Feet are grounded in that hip width position. And again, we're going to bring our arms up overhead, reaching through those fingers, dropping the shoulders down the spine, that same position that we were in seated. And with our exhale, we're going to arc to the right. So gently reaching those right fingers up overhead, and then let that right arm come down by your side as if you were trying to reach your right fingers to the earth. Left arm is reaching up and over. Keep those knees soft, keep the feet grounded into the earth. We want to attempt to keep the weight even between both feet so that we're not leaning into that right side. And with our next inhale, we'll come back to center, reaching those fingers up overhead, keep the shoulders down the spine, and our exhale will go the opposite direction. Let that left hand come down by your side. Reach the fingers up and over the center of the head. Again, the weight is even in both feet. Knees are soft. One more breath here, creating space between each of the ribs, space between the outside of the vertebrae. And slowly come back to center. And from here, we'll again let those arms float down by our sides. So you're welcome to use that chair for a little bit of balance. Part of building that energy in the body is activating the core, and we can do that through gentle balance standing poses. So with your hands on the chair, if that feels good for you, or you're welcome to place hands on your hips. We're going to bring the right foot grounded into the earth. So feel the earth underneath that right foot. And then our left foot will come to the ankle. So you can bring that left foot to the ankle, up to the lower leg, or up to the inner thigh. We just don't want to press it right into the knee. So maybe those left toes stay on the earth. Maybe those left toes are up on the lower shin, whatever feels most right for you. Again, using that chair for balance if that's your preference, or even a wall. And we're going to breathe here. Feel the core activating, engage that belly. We want that standing knee to be buoyant, so we're not locked out, we're not hyperextended through that standing leg. And we're going to take a long breath here. Feeling your balance. Again, you're welcome to hold on to that chair. Take a nice deep breath. And with our next inhale, we're going to grow like that tree with the arms rising to the sky. So if you're holding your chair, we can bring one arm up overhead. One more breath. And with the exhale, arms float down by our sides, and we're going to switch sides. Again, hands can stay on hips or reaching for the chair. We're going to bring the right foot to the ankle, to the lower leg, or to the inner thigh, just not directly into that knee. And from here, we find our breath. Strong in the belly. That belly keeps our energy moving. It keeps our balance, keeps our strength. Begins to activate those muscles that kind of get lost in our seat when we're in front of the computer all day. So really breathe into those belly muscles. And then again, as you're ready, arms can rise up overhead. So if you are holding that chair, just one arm at a time, reaching through those fingers. We'll take one more breath. And with our exhale, let the hands float down by our side. We're going to widen our stance slightly so that our feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart. The chair is there for balance or for support, or hands can be on hips. Ever so slightly, turn your feet gently out. So our feet are a little bit wider than hip width and slightly turned out. Again, hands on hips or on the chair. Sit up nice and tall, engage that belly. We're going to bend the knees slightly so that our pelvis comes straight down towards the earth, and then straight back up, and we'll engage the back of our body as we stand up. So again, seated all day, this is a great one to do even just 2 or 3 times when you're in between calls or taking a break from editing your paper. As we stand tall, feel the back of your body engage. Again, we'll bend those knees. We're not coming all the way into a deep squat. We're just beginning to activate the muscles of the legs, bringing a little bit of life into that lower half of the body. A couple more times here. Let's do one more. Long, deep inhale, standing up, engaging the back of the body. And then we're going to bring our poses together. So continue with the feet wide and let the arms come up overhead. Reach through those fingers, drop the shoulders. We're going to bend with the knees. Inhale up. Exhale, arc to one side. Inhale up. Bend the knees. Inhale up. Really feel that activation in the back of the body. Reach through the fingers. Exhale over. Inhale, center. Exhale down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale. Inhale. Follow your breath. Again, imagine that tree, that growing tree. Body is the trunk, feet are the roots, arms are the leaves and the branches. So enjoy some fluidity, follow your breath. We're going to go a couple more times through this cycle. The exhale allows our body to arc. And the inhale brings us into strength. Exhale down the trunk. Inhale strong. Exhale arc. Inhale center. Last one here. Exhale down. Inhale, rise tall. And then let those arms again float down by our sides. And we'll take a couple of big shoulder rolls, wiggle the fingers, rotate the elbows, and change directions. Rotate the fingers, elbows, and then come back to stillness. We're going to take that hip stretch to standing. So please listen to your body and what feels right. You're welcome to sit back down if you prefer. But we've got our chair here for balance. We're going to bring our awareness into the right foot and the right leg. So that right leg is our strong standing point. We're going to gently bend into the right leg and place the left ankle on top of the right knee. Same place that it was when we were seated. So again, if you want to go back to your chair, you're welcome to. And we've got the left foot flexed. So really important to have that left foot nice and flexed, strong. And the chair is here for our balance and support. The right knee is slightly bent so that we can support the weight of the left foot and the left ankle. This might feel really great. Maybe just staying here is all that your body's asking for. Maybe you want to take it a little bit deeper. You're welcome to bend deeper into that right knee. Definitely don't have to. You're getting that same stretch along the outside of the left glutes into that hip. One more breath. And then gently rise tall and bring the left foot back to the earth. So we'll take it the other direction. Balance into that left foot first, really ground that left leg into the earth. And then the right ankle comes on top of the left quad with a very gentle bend in that left knee. And the right foot stays flexed. That protects the ankle and the knee. So again, right here might be enough. This might feel really great on your hips and on your body. We're welcome to use that chair to balance. If you want to come a little bit lower, breathing a little bit deeper into that right hip, you're welcome to do so. We'll take one more long breath here. And then slowly release and gently unwind. Again, we've got our chair for balance. We're going to take a little bit of care into our roots. So we're going to ground into the right foot and roll the left ankle. So again, just to see what that looks like, we're rolling that left ankle, keeping the toes on the earth. Take it in one direction and then take it in the opposite direction. And then from here, we'll switch. So bring the weight into the left foot, bend that right knee, come onto those right toes and roll the right ankle. One direction. And then gently roll the opposite direction. And from here, slowly come back to center. We're going to take one more long, deep breath together. Arms rise. And on the exhale, arms float down by our sides. And I am happy to bring us into the celebration with Lenee.
Thank you so much, Jenny. I appreciate that beautiful practice. Everyone, now that we're standing, I'd love to invite us to be able to celebrate getting here, coming to right where we are, and simply starting to just sway side to side. Whatever feels good with you now that we're just a bit warmed up. Perhaps as you lean to the right or left side, you roll your shoulders back one at a time, simply moving through space. Whatever feels good for you. Taking care to breathe, inhaling and exhaling. And if it feels good for you to go just a little bit further, bring an elbow maybe with that shoulder circle. Lovely. If you'd like to modify it for a little bit lower impact, I invite you to simply move from side to side, leaning into the hip, picking up a foot, and articulating through all of the feet as you lean into the hip. Breathing deeply. If you need more support, feel free to hold on to the chair in front of you or to the side of you. Now going back to higher impact movement, lubricating the joints, allowing the elbow to lead the movement. If it feels good to you, perhaps now we'll look in the direction of your lean. Inhaling and exhaling. Whatever your breath wants to do, whatever feels good to you, I invite you to do it. Now, if it feels good to you, extending an arm all the way over and making nice big circles, opening your shoulders if that feels good to you. Also, taking care to go as gently as you'd like and extend your arms as fully as you like. Or perhaps it feels good to you to simply lean from side to side. Great job. Bringing yourself back to center, to a place of stillness. As Cliff and Jenny so beautifully taught us to lengthen the spine, I invite you to pretend as if I'm pulling a string at the top of your head. And from that string, we are leaning our head down, and I'll turn to the side so you can see me, to actually lengthen over and round our spine, our lower back as well. So we're not necessarily tucking, we're simply lengthening and thinking about somewhat of a C curve in our spine and hanging there ever so gently. And here it's very important to simply engage your core, your abdominal muscles as you hang. And now, just as we were doing before, swaying from side to side, whatever may feel good for you. If it feels good for you to start actually turning and twisting again, then I invite you to do it. If it feels good for you just to hang there, then I invite you to do that as well. Occasionally, I'll look up at the screen just so you can hear me, to make sure that you can hear me. But we're swaying here. Coming to a place in the center, I invite you to start rolling up one vertebra at a time from the base of your spine, all the way through your back. On an inhale, coming to standing, taking definite care to inhale in, elongate your spine again, and rolling your shoulders up, back, and down to prevent any kind of dizziness. Deep, full breaths, oxygenating the muscles. Beautiful job, beautiful job. Now I invite you to actually just start lengthening one arm to the side, each side, as if you're trying to touch the wall on each side of you. Keeping that same picture in mind, coming to center and lengthening your arms out beside you as if you are trying to touch the wall on each side of you. Thinking about lowering your shoulders, flexing your hands back, and you may feel some fatigue here. We're simply lengthening and strengthening. Now pointing your fingertips down and up and down, remembering your breath, and up. Think about softening the ribs here as we're lengthening from side to side, lengthening the ears away from the shoulders, creating space there, and pointing the fingertips down and lengthening them up to the ceiling. We'll do 3 more of those on your own time. And you may feel some fatigue here. If that's the case, I invite you to simply wiggle your fingers And as if you're typing on a keyboard, bringing your hands in front of you, wiggling out those fingers, because these days we're doing a lot of typing, and out beside you. And one more time, in front of you. Breathing deeply on your own time, out beside you, flexing your fingertips up to the ceiling, down, and then releasing them by your side. Ooh, you may feel some activation there, some tingles up and down the spine or through your extremities. I invite you simply to shake that out then. Wiggle it out. My mentor and faculty member, Dr. Celine Kuman Vega, has a beautiful shake practice that we do in the Mind, Body, Spirit integration seminar that Cliff and I co-facilitate along with other folks. And sometimes to simply release the energy is very necessary. Here, I invite you to come with your feet, and I apologize that you may not be able to see my hips here, but I will move the camera. Feet about hip width distance apart. And think about as we were leaning into each one of our hips when we were stepping, think about lengthening the side body all the way up. Yes. From side to side, stepping into the hip again. Good, good. And coming back to center, just wanted you to feel the hips wiggle out a little bit since we have been standing stationary. Now lengthening the spine and rolling down one more time, whatever feels good for you. And hanging there. All the way over, deep breaths. Again, engaging the core. Think about lengthening the tailbone down, not tucking, but lengthening it down. All of the vertebrae. Simply relaxing all of the muscles supporting the spine, relaxing. And I invite you to take one knee and bend it slightly. I'm happening to do my left knee, which will probably be your right, and lengthen the arm, that same bent knee. And then the other side body you may recognize may hang like a rag doll. Think about lengthening that lower back area there. Inhaling through center, hanging and swaying again, hanging and swaying again. And now switching sides, bending that opposite knee, letting that same arm as leg lengthen, and the other side hangs like a rag doll. And you may or may not feel a stretch in the opposite side of the lower back. This is a really good one if you're feeling lower back tightness. Now coming through center and simply swaying again. Now I invite you to roll up one vertebra at a time, starting with your lower back, lengthening your spine, shoulders up, back, and down. And in celebration, bringing your arms, similar pose to what Jenny taught us, but this time we are lowering our shoulders a bit and just allowing our fingers to hang loosely. And then I invite you to think about reaching one of the hands up to the ceiling. And it's less about side action as it is more about lengthening to the ceiling and elongating the opposite side body. And then with an exhale, lengthening that arm back, just to open the shoulder just a bit. A lot of times we're hunched over our keyboards and our the front of our shoulders does not get to lengthen. And now the other arm up to the ceiling, and tune into your body to see if there may or may not be a difference between the two sides. Lengthen up to the ceiling and then extend the arm back, opening the shoulder. This is really good if you ever have any kind of frozen shoulder issues. If you feel fatigued and tired, I invite you to do what you need to do. Perhaps drop your hands down. Then at the same time, if you have them up, bring them up again if they're down. And reach to the ceiling. And lengthen your hands back as far as they will go. No need to over stretch. And now opening the chest, bending the arms, and simply thinking about elongating the chin up to the ceiling and breathing deeply. And it's as if you're saying thank you for making it here in celebration. Thank you to the universe, or whatever it is you may or may not believe, and lowering your hands. Let's try that one more time, shaking it out just a little bit first, releasing the energy. We're activating a lot of neural pathways here. On an inhale, bringing the hands back up to the ceiling, loosening the fingers really light. If your hands feel like they want to hang, let them do it. If not, bring them up to the ceiling. If your shoulders are up, think about linking them away from your ears and pressing back to open the chest. Nice chest openers, bending the elbows, lengthening the neck without crunching the head back. Awesome. And now I'll turn to the side to show you the next stretch. We're simply going to reverse that and bring the arms around, and clasp the hands as if we're trying to pull them apart. And here we're still doing a C curve. Lengthening the spine. And so it's essentially the opposite of what we were just doing. And pull the hands as if you're trying to pull them apart. And then release them. Beautiful job, everyone. Beautiful job. Coming back to center, I invite you to bring one hand to your heart, one to your belly perhaps, and taking a moment to see what's going on in your body, what you feel like. Perhaps tuning into the spirit of celebration that we just spoke of. Thinking about ways to mitigate stress in the future. As the cliche or the saying goes, movement is medicine. It might be a cliche, but it really is true. Breathing deeply. Collectively in community. I invite you to take 3 more deep breaths on your own time, at your own pace, and in your own way. Thank you all so much for this practice today.
Thank you so much to our presenters. They did an excellent job at providing us with different strategies to help with stress. I don't know about you guys, but I feel less stressed. And I hope that you're able to take these tips and techniques and use them after today. We won't probably be able to post it today, but I will try to have it up as soon as possible, definitely on our community page and hopefully on our self-care YouTube. So thank you guys so much for joining. But before we leave, I do want to ask a couple of questions just to